Om Shanti, everyone. Good evening. My name is Michelle, and I am joining you tonight as your MC for another Thursday night Global Harmony House's Insightful Conversations. And as you know, the month of August, which is one of my favorite months, is the month of love. We are talking each week about love, and the topic is living with limitless love for the month. So this week, we are going to delve even deeper on the power of pure love. And if you got to see the flyer, I don't know if Narayan, I think Narayan is, Narayan, hi, thank you. Can you show the flyer again? Would that be okay? Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, okay. That's all right. Well, anyway, there's a picture of a balloon that's holding up a rock. And I thought it was just like, how is that possible? But we talked about it, Sister Kamla, who is our speaker tonight. We talked about that. How can a light balloon shaped like a heart hold up a rock? You know, there it is. Thank you, Narayan. I just thought that was just such a thoughtful picture. It says so much about what love can do, that even when we're burdened and heavy, with love, we can be raised. So as John Lennon said, and I think he was right when he wrote in the song, "The longer I live, I'm not a youngster anymore. I'm going to be collecting Social Security soon." He said, all you need is love. And I believe he knew what he was talking about, and he's not the only one that said it. All we do need is love. But even though that's true, love seems to be very evasive to all of us. But we do know, and I know, that love can quench a parched soul. It can mend a broken heart. And boy, there are a lot of feelings of broken hearts and sorrow and hopelessness. All you have to see is all that's going on in the physical world. But we're going to talk tonight about the power of pure love. And to that end, we are bringing back a very dear friend of Global Harmony House. She is Sister Kamla. You've probably, if you've been a regular, you have met with her. She's wonderful. She's based out of our Peace Village Learning and Retreat Center in the Catskills in upstate New York. And although she has been practicing yoga for the past 40 years, she brings a very new and refreshing perspective to it every time, at least I speak with her. But over the last 15 years, she has been at Peace Village, and she's played pivotal roles in various departments in Peace Village. And we're going to talk a little bit about Peace Village because I can't resist tonight, Sister Kamla. So she's originally from Guyana, and she has made in her words, a profound spiritual journey, but she has given many instrumental contributions at Peace Village, and she has a life that's been dedicated to inner peace, spiritual knowledge, and community service. And she's going to share with her insights on love. And we're going to do it a little different tonight. We're going to have a real conversation, right, Sister Kamla? We're going to back and forth, which I'm very much looking forward to. Welcome, sister. Welcome to Global Harmony House. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. And it's lovely to be with you again. I remember the last, once we did a session last year, and it was wonderful, and it was related to the topic of love, I believe. So it's wonderful to see you in person. I'm thinking maybe I should have a gallery view so I can see everyone.
And everyone, I see Annabelle. Hello, Annabelle. I'm going to call you out by name. If you want, there's my phone always going off. Please ignore that. But everyone can, if you want to turn on your cameras, so Sister Kamla and I can see you. But again, no, only if you want. I'm just waiting for that phone to stop in my background. My phone is always going off. It's probably a solicitor, but I'm here. Did you want me to start asking? I have a bunch of questions about tonight, but first I want to ask you.
Yes, thank you. I was just pausing to let everything quiet down. But it's
Thank you.
lovely to be with all of you. And as you know, Global Harmony House is always in my heart because I used to live there for quite a while. So I don't feel I left. I still feel belonging, sense of belonging, not only to Harmony House, but everywhere with everyone. So my friends who I know there, I just want to say special hello to them. And to say that tonight the topic, as Michelle, you did mention, um, it is a celebration for us, for the Brahmakumaris, for the month, this month of August, which is celebrating pure love or love in a very different way. And I know that in the future also you will be having programs and events related to this topic. But I wanted to look at it in a quite different way tonight. And so I welcome you with me and going through the questions, which will elaborate a little more into this very intricate subject of love. So happy to be with all of you.
Thank you. So one of the questions that I had, we talk, the topic is about pure love, but, love is so hard to describe. It's left up to the poets and the musicians and the artists, but isn't love just love? What does pure love mean?
Right. So the way we know love, and all of us, our understanding of love is different, and maybe it could be translated as that emotional feeling of deep affection that is translated in a form in different ways, variety of ways, and which may be in this mortal world of ours quite limited. So in terms of love, yes, we do understand uh, to some extent that love exists in all of us as human beings. We have that emotion which shows, from time to time, and which is expressed in different way. And pure love is a bit different than just love. Love is just general, but pure love is that which rises beyond the limitation, rises beyond the, not just the human consciousness, but much beyond that into a spiritual kind of experience. But I know some of the questions we'll be exploring more in depth of that.
Right. So I wanted to know if you can delve into, I always like when we give a discussion, talk a little bit about definitions. What is pure love? You talk about, is it just spiritual love? Can you have pure love for a human being, for that matter, for your own child? Or is it just a spiritual love that's out of the physical boundaries?
Definitely, the love that exists between a mother and a child is definitely a pure love, and to a certain extent. But like I said, in this physical world of ours, the way we have accepted love is quite different from the way I would have seen love now after 40 years of research and experience in meditation. And I see it's a vast contrast. And of course, I've been there in the past many, many years where I view love the same way as people view love today, which, can be a distorted form of love. For example, love can be based on attachment and different elements. But pure love to me, it rises beyond the limitation of the human consciousness. And it is, we say the love that we experience now is actually based on what is called as a body conscious love, because we're seeped into this body and all we see that the things are around us. And so we are relating to people or relatives or, maybe could be animals, could be any living being, that it is still limited in some way or the other. But pure love is that which rises beyond all of that. And it is definitely unadulterated love, a love that has no expectations, no bonds, no attachment. So think about it. It's beyond that, and it creates that love is it creates a kind of trust and faith in others. And of course, later I'm going to share with you some of these elements in an experience of one of our senior instruments. But definitely, the pure love is a love that motivates the self, it motivates others. It's a love that uplifts. If I have pure love, I can uplift another person. I can inspire another person. It's a pure love that is giving. Always in that stage of pure love, you don't give love for just one day or 1 week or 1 month or one moment, but it's a love that is consistent. It may seem impossible, but I've seen it in other individuals, and this is why I have highlighted some of these powers or values or virtues which I wanted to share. That it's a love that, which I've seen work in others, is that it gives them a new life. It actually, in this state of pure love, one is able to bestow good wishes and to have pure feelings of others all the time. It's a love that, like I said earlier, I don't expect. That if I give you love and you don't give me back, or you are mean or whatever you are, state of mind, it's a pure love that transcends that human emotion or limitation and just serves and serves and serves. And it's a love that actually reaches the heart. There are some stories I want to share about that. It reaches deep within an individual's heart. It touches, it cleanses, it helps to purify that, or remove the darkness that's there. And it's the pure love that bonds, that create a better working relationship. It creates trust and cooperation. And also it's a love that in which the person who has pure love make sacrifices. They don't think of themselves. They think of others first, which I have seen. And they serve with that feeling of love. So it's like almost endless. It's unlimited. It's like the ocean. And it rises beyond the limitation. It breaks barriers. Whatever barriers people have created, the pure love, it goes through, it just breaks that barrier. And with the power of pure love, you feel that your heart is protected by that pure love, because the consciousness is much higher. It's more elevated. It's more positive. And so you're transcending from the human consciousness to a much elevated consciousness. And of course, with the power of pure love, you're able to connect to the God of your understanding, to the higher power, to the supreme source of light. And with the power of pure love, you actually heal the heart. It's amazing. The power of pure love is so vast, so encompassing, that even if the heart has been torn or broken into pieces or going through all kinds of things, the power of pure love it connects everything. It, as the flyer says, it restores back dignity and self-worth in that individual. And also it changes, when I have pure love, it changes my vision and my outlook of another individual. It changes my reaction. It changes my behavior. It changes my relationship with everyone. And it brings out the very, very best in me, which can become of service to humanity, like caring and compassion and love and so many other values which really start emerging. So I have seen this, how it worked on other individuals who have been meditating for years and years and years. And I've seen the magic that this power of love does to, change human consciousness and bring it from a limited level to quite a different level. So it's like giving life to a soul. It's, that old soul that is there is changed and transformed into someone that is positive. And yeah. It's a lot of points.
A lot of points. So, we're talking about pure love, but how do we, as watching this, listening to you, transform what we think is love? Like we have affection for people. We think kindly sometimes, we're basically, people are good people and they do feel love in a sense, but it's as you say, in a physical realm that we as human beings have. How do we make that transformation? Does the transformation have to start with ourselves before we have that transformation to pure love? You mentioned meditation. Is it only in meditation that you can actually reach this higher level of pure love? And then after that, once you're meditating, then it is manifested in the physical world in your existence? Or is it only during meditation? I'm trying to think like the audience, what I have my ideas, but how does this in a practical way, how do we get to this? Sounds great. What do we do? How do we make that transformation?
So I could, share a little bit about my own journey because I've been through where people have been through. I'm not saying I've reached a state of perfection, but definitely looking for love or something that is pure and to take me beyond the darkness of this world, the sorrow, the pain, the bitterness, everything that's there. And so with the practice of meditation, and I'm speaking on behalf of many, many Brahma Kumars and Kumaris or students of Brahma Kumari's organization, where first you're educating yourself. And it's something that is quite important and vital for us to educate ourselves about ourselves, which we think we know, but we don't know. And in the first lesson of the Brahma Kumaris or in Raj Yoga meditation, it talks about you as a self-sovereign. And it reinforces that aspect of dignity and self-worth, that you are this. You are that pure soul. I may not be pure, but it tells in that first lesson that you have to start believing and changing that, that way of thinking of your old self, that you are a beautiful soul and that you have a lot of special qualities and virtues within yourself. So it's basically you start thinking about all the positive things that you can develop within yourself and believing it. I am that. I don't have to look at myself at what I am at the moment, my flaws, my defects, my weaknesses. But I'm going beyond that. I'm starting a new phase of life to start. Let me try it. Let me accept that whatever is being taught to me, that I am that. And this is also my journey, that believing I'm a soul, I am a being of peace, a being of love, a being filled of bliss, of happiness, of truth, of purity. And definitely, as I start meditating and reflecting and pondering on these aspects, definitely you start feeling that you are experiencing, there's a shift that's happening. So it's believing, because they say what you believe in, you start seeing it. And it definitely start bringing a bit of transformation within the self. So that's the first phase. And in the experience of meditation, it takes us to a level where we start with these thoughts and these processes and all of that, but we end up with an experience or experiences. So if I think of myself as I'm a soul filled with love, then ultimately, as I start thinking about it over and over and letting it becoming real in me, the final product is I start feeling love. I start feeling a shift. And of course, in the meditation experience, is that when we go into our own sacred spaces and we start connecting. And here we are being taught that we connect to the higher power, the supreme light, the light of all lights, the ocean of all powers, who's radiating constantly, nonstop, all these wonderful powers and qualities we would like to have. So when we are connecting to that source and making it something like more intimate, like this is my friend, this is my beloved, this is my everything, and bringing that visualization of that energy of God into my life in a practical way, then you feel as if it's something that's real that's happening. It's not just an imagination. You actually feel it, and you would start noticing, and I'm sure all of those who have practiced meditation, it's that void that was there, that you did not believe in yourself, you were hopeless, you were depressed, whatever it was, that void is being filled with lots of positive values and qualities, and so your outlook changes. So it starts in that way, in that manner, but then the you know the end product is amazing.
We talk about an end product, so many people throughout their life, and you put it in such a succinct way. When you see yourself as pure and as a soul, you can give that love. And, I thought about someone who's just taking up the violin, for example, and they're squeaking and they're learning. But after a while, if they envision themselves as a musician, it makes it, you practice, and soon before you know it, you picture yourself at a recital, then at a concert. So too with the runner, they start and they're behind the pack, but they keep going and going, and every time they get stronger and stronger, and soon in their mind's eye, they're winning the race. And it's not too much longer, if you keep going, that you will in fact win the race. And so too with love, it sounds like with meditation, you get that sense that you can fulfill the promise that's in all of us, and that is to be able to love yourself, which is probably the most important thing to do first. Well, that's another question I have. Do you have to love yourself first before you can give love? That pure love. Can you have pure love for yourself? So much of our problems is our insecurities. We don't have the pure love for ourselves. We see sometimes often the hardest person. I'm less hard on myself than I used to be, but I remember being younger, and no one was harder on me than me. Oh, stupid, you got the answer wrong, or you didn't say that right. Why did you do that? How do you give that pure love if you don't have it for yourself? Does meditation help with that? Find that love for yourself?
Yes, Michelle, that's lovely, because we live in a world that there's competition, there's all kind of thing that we absorb in ourselves. And that shapes us, the way we see life, the way we see ourselves. Because it's a world that is filled with all kinds of energy, all kinds of vibration. And when we shift, we start shifting our consciousness and start looking at how, there is something richer and higher and purer, which we probably never were aware about, that we have never experienced. And when we start exploring, and I think you have to take time off to put aside some time to explore going into your own sacred spaces, because it's about me. As you said, it starts with me. And as you explore your inner self and start discovering, listen, in myself there, I see a lot of gems here. I see things of value. I see beautiful things that were covered with layers and layers and layers of unwanted stuff, which I was believing to be true, but it's not me. It's not me. And the teachings of the Brahma Kumaris is that each soul had their original qualities are of purity, peace, love, bliss, happiness, wisdom, power. These are our original qualities. I have to believe, I have to hold true to that. And gradually the layers of stuff that is overriding us will fall apart. And so this new me will emerge, in a quite a different way. So I wanted to share a bit about someone I met, but I'll wait for you to ask the next question. You're muted.
You can ask. You can speak. I can hold off on any questions. It's fine. Feel it.
So we have had the privilege and honor in meeting some of the most senior yogis in this lifetime, and watching them and how they operate, it really taught me a lot with regards to this topic today, the power of pure love. And I watched and I saw how the power of pure love and the magic it did through them. And one of the person that comes to mind, and some of you may know her, was our past administrative head, Daddy Janki. And Daddy Janki, I think she came very young into the spiritual field, but she did a lot of research, a lot of study, a lot of practices, a lot of experiments on herself and in meditation. It was like her mantra. It was like her lifeline, and she took it quite seriously because she wanted to know a lot about herself, about the world, about people, about God, and she wanted to integrate what she had learned and what she had experienced into her life, and so that she can serve the world. And I have seen the way she, was sharing that love was so dynamic. It's not a normal experience you see in any human being. I'm sure there are others, but I'm talking about her because I've seen her, how she operated, and of course, some other seniors like her, where the love that she has for people that she don't know, strangers. Like we can say that I don't love you because I don't know you. You're my neighbor, you're my friend. I love just my family. I love only those who I know in my home. But her love was such a giving love that she would see anyone, if they're in the airport, if they're in the street, if strangers, because she would be meeting thousands and thousands of people. And when you watch her, you see she's just infusing them with love and love and love. And it was just amazing. And you feel she knows your soul. There is this one time, and it happened to so many people, she would just be in that silence, and we would look at her and experience that love coming from her eyes, that pure love. And it was be as if she knows what's in the heart. And when she started to share, it would go right through the heart and say, how did she know that? Who told her? So it was like she was reaching out where people cannot reach, deep inside, and empowering the soul. And there are so many thousands of people whose lives had changed because of her pure love, of her giving. And she never thought about herself. She never thought me first. I'm the first one. She never thought about her meals. She would eat very little. She would sleep very little. The moment she woke up, it would just be about people and people and people. And until she sleep at night, she just would keep sharing and sharing and sharing that love. And it seems not normal because human being today, they give love today, and then tomorrow they're, kind of different. But this love was like pouring out, pouring out. And it's not only just the love and the inspirational words, but also she cared for people. If she heard that someone said this person is sick, she would go and visit them in the hospital. She would care for them. She would, attend to their needs. If they need something physically, even to that extent, she would give it to them. And I've seen that she really reaches out to individual, and she trusts and she loved and she cared to such an extent that you feel there is no one in this world who knows me like this. There is no one in the world who can give me such a love. Now, that love that she's giving is not just from herself, but it's a love that she has learned the art of taking from her connection with the Supreme, that it has filled her soul to such an extent that it's just like unlimited sharing and sharing and sharing. And that is what I wanted to share, that this love transcends the barriers. You don't look at people, a different culture, different religion, because Daddy Janki traveled the whole world numerous times. And, as simple as she was, because she didn't wear anything, just white clothing. And wherever she would be, people would just gravitate towards her. They would go to her and they just want a glimpse of this old woman. Who is she? Because they felt that energy of love. Not like a grandmother. It's like, who is this lady? So this attraction of vibration and love that a person can have, and the power of pure love, can go a very long way to change the life of others and to help to change the world. And this is what we are looking for today in this kind of world that is seeped in darkness and in a very different place.
So I think you answered my question by using the example of Johnny Junkie because I guess what is the effect that we would have in a practical way? Yes. And there are questions that are going to be coming in. I can tell that, so I'm going to ask Ryan later if we can unmute, because someone had asked if they have thoughts, and I see in the chat. But my question is, in a practical way, how will it affect our life if we incorporate, as you say, this pure love for ourselves and for others? Will we see the transformation? How will it affect our lives in a day-to-day sense?
Yes, in a day-to-day sense, Michelle, it will help us to look at others with love and compassion and to remove that barriers, because every day we meet people and maybe we look at them a little differently now than the way we used to look at them. Before we would see we would see their flaws, we would see all kinds of things. And now we have changed that because a shift has happened in me. So my relationship with those who are close to me or even those who don't know me will start changing. And deep within, I'll start having that compassion. Because today we see people are going through all kinds of situation and very helpless. And even those people who are, we describe them as bad, doing all kinds of crazy things, even to send that pure love, that can also change the person. And we have seen how it becomes magical. So it really has a long-lasting effect on not only myself, but the people around me. So relationship, which is a big thing, can become a working relationship. I would treat another person in a much more humane way with lots of love and compassion and care, and really reach out to help when I can. So it's a very magical experience, and to see the transformation that's happening around me. And I've seen that also, those who have been on a path that was different and have come onto a path of loving themselves and sharing that love with others, they actually create such a wonderful experience so that people, it's almost giving life to others. So I'll see that at a personal level and see a lot of changes in my own self, because today when we don't have that love for our own self, then many times we go back into that dark space. We like to visit the dark space because we don't know that something is different. But when I start believing and doing my own experiments and loving myself, I'm going to make that shift of rising above all the limitations, all the pulls, all the distraction, and the purest love that I could experience to share it with others. And also there's a time like when which I'm going to talk about before the end of the program, about meditation and how that practice can infuse you with that power of pure love.
Well, I have a question, but it's a little on the heavier side, so I'm going to wait. Anyone that wants to put comments in the chat, please do. And perhaps Herman had asked if we can unmute, and we'll wait till Q&A that we can do that. If not, before that, Herman, you could put it in. But we have a very interesting question about pure love. I'm going to read her question kind of in reverse. Is pure love only connected to humanity? Meaning, can you only have pure love for people? Or as she asked, can pure love be reached by a scientist who gives life to scientific discoveries, or an educator who is devoted to knowledge, or a patriot who says, I have love for my country. We hear so much, I love my country, I'm going to give my life for that country. The ultimate, they say, the ultimate sacrifice. Is that pure love? They think it is, but is it, or is, as Carol asked, is it only connected to love of humanity? I think that's a very profound question.
In a way, it's a pure love because it's a passion. It is, it's a goal they have in life for changing the world or doing something that's different for their country. So it's a kind of coming from, if it comes from that place of where their intentions and their motives and feelings are pure. If it comes from that space,
right, that's a good point.
From a place of you want to compete, or there's something that's negative,
you want reward, you want recognition. You know, I
Yes,
want to be a hero so people will,
yes,
say, wow, this person is so brave. This person is great. If you bring
definitely.
it,
So,
yeah, it's from what the
yes,
intention.
the intention. So to that extent, it's, I would consider it as a pure love, but
Mhm.
yet we can rise above that. And like I said, the power of pure love can reach all of humanity, all of the living beings, even the elements of nature. So imagine the whole globe is, is infused with that love, power of pure love. It's really magical. It's really wonderful.
I mean, we talk about science, but okay, we have another question. But science, sometimes they build things that they think is good. They build bombs to bring peace. I mean, that was the whole sense. They thought they were doing the right thing to save the world. What was their
Yes, yes,
intention?
definitely. Because if their intention,
Right.
they want to protect their country, maybe in their eyes,
Their
it's kind of
eyes, right?
pure motive,
Be careful. Right.
Yes, definitely.
Right.
So I'm
Right.
saying there are people in the world out there who mean well. They
Yes.
really want to bring
Right.
benefit to others. And there are a lot of people out there who are
Mhm.
trying their best to bring that transformation in their community or in their homes or in their family.
Mhm.
So they have that, it's a pure intent. So
Exactly.
that's really good. It's
Yes,
one.
I agree. And there are scientists that are working, I know them, that are working on cures, to save people. Their intention, they toil away in their little laboratory and nobody even knows who they are. But
Definitely.
their goal is to help others. The purest of intention. I think that is pure love. But again, I think your point about intention,
And
what is the
everything,
goal?
Michelle, they have created, human beings are enjoying. So whatever the scientific gadgets today, everybody is taking benefit from that. And of course, if they're using it in a useful way, that is good.
Yes.
You can see the results of
Right.
all their hard work that they're doing.
Right.
Definitely.
Right.
They,
Okay, so, I'm sorry, I apologize.
I'm saying they deserve our good wishes and good feelings.
I agree. So Herman writes, define impure love, partial love, and other types of love. So what is impure love? That's an interesting question. What's the converse? What's impure love or
Im-
partial love, as he puts it?
Impure love is what we would describe as a body conscious love, that I only see this body, this human being. Um,
Mhm.
that love is quite limited. And recently I was reading a couple of stories about love in general in the world, that when someone has impure love, then there are a lot of complications, lots of complication, because there is expectation. I love you, so you have to love me. And recently there was someone who came to me with a story where, her daughter was involved with someone, and now she's trying to break free. So now this person is threatening her to destroy her life. So she was crying, the parent was really crying. And I was saying, I was just looking at it in the understanding of love in a distorted form can cause tremendous pain and sorrow and bring great destruction in one life. So it's quite limited. And when we are operating in that state of just this body, I'm just seeing physical, that's all. I'm seeing just the human framework. And it's so limited that I don't see beyond. No, I don't see that within that human body, there is a special, beautiful soul that exists. And I have to respect that person, that soul that's there. But all I'm thinking is this exchange of give and take. If I give you love, then I expect something from you. And it goes on and on and on. And it ends up really sometimes not in a nice way. And we have seen it, like when you look at the news, all the things that are there, like, the violence and the aggression and all kinds of things that in the name of love it brings, which is quite, quite sad. So love is just to love unconditional without any expectation. And there is one thought that we use, or one word, is love with detachment. Now that can raise a lot of questions. How can you love with detachment? Is that you allow the person to be who they want to be. You don't keep imposing on them or directing them the way you want them to be, but letting go, letting them be themselves, and at the same time sharing pure love with that soul really, really works in a magical way. I don't know if Herman is happy with this answer.
I mean, you let us know if that's I think you're right. I think real pure love does not cause you pain. It
Yes.
only causes more love and contentment and pleasure almost. If you know, when you see young love and they say, oh, there's so much pain and sorrow, I don't find that really love. If you're in that much pain, is that really love? That's not what it's supposed to be. Maybe when you're young, you think that is love, but that's
Yeah.
not feel pain. Watch, Sherry says, watch for the motives of love. Is it powerful or is it, you know, to be pure? Is it for power? Watch for our motives for love. Is it to be powerful or is it for purity? And that's another good point that Sherry Sherry makes. I agree. I have a question that I'm surprised no one's asked you yet. How do you feel love when you feel burdened and heavy? Like a lot of times people want to, it's very hard, as you said, to give love. If you feel sorrow, and we're not even sorry, you feel heavy, you have so much of the weight of the world on your mind. How do you get beyond that to feel love? You know, that rock, you know, that but now that's the now again to the nitty gritty, that balloon that lifts up the rock. If I'm the rock, I'm heavy, I feel weighted by, you know, burdens, whatever they may be, from work, from family. How does the purity of love lift you up? How do you feel love when you are the rock?
I have seen people who are going through situations, and this is perhaps a method you can use or anyone can use, is of course, if you just had a conflict with someone or something happened, and it will have an effect, definitely. We are still human beings. We cannot say we don't feel or we don't have that experience. But there's so many options we have of and choices we have of what to take in and what not to take in. Now it's easy to say than to do because the thoughts are flowing. We keep revisiting that scene over and over, what people have said and what they have done. So physically, for those who can do it mentally, physically, you start distracting your mind from that space. In a sense, if you go for a walk with nature, if you maybe read a book or be with some friends and change the conversation, because the more you keep talking about it over and over, the burden becomes heavier. And first, you physically you distract yourself, and you start noticing. For me, I think when you are with nature, because I love nature, it's nature itself is like a different kind of life. Just to be with nature, you feel there is a pure energy. There is something that's quite uplifting with nature. And also, when you physically distract yourself, then you start noticing you have to give yourself a space. Even a physical space is good. And then what happens in the situation I told you, where the mother got really upset and she was crying and all kinds of things. And then I watched her after a few days, then everything became calm. Everything will fall into place, where it's meant to be. And secondly, it's to really open up to teaching yourself something different, learning about life, learning about how to deal with situation, learning about yourself, learning about people, which this is what the Raj Yoga teaching is about. It's like understanding more of life. And when you use that wisdom on a daily basis, you're still doing what you're supposed to do, but you're using on the basis of understanding, not ignorance. And so, definitely, in the moment that you're heavy like a rock, you may not be able to experience that love because it's all these things in there. It's like really full. Your head is full of all the stuff. So, clearing up, that's the first step to clearing up and removing all of that. And definitely, once you start feeling that lightness, that you're empty from because there's a reason why things are happening in our life. And this is why I keep repeating that the lessons of the Brahma Kumaris or Raj Yoga teachings really gives the answers to life's question, why things happen, and to see them in that eye of wisdom. And then definitely, I could remove the rock. Who wants to have a rock on their head forever?
So I'm going to ask people to put in the chat, and I don't know, Narayan, if we can unmute. Sometimes we can, sometimes we can't. And if anyone wants to speak, they can try and unmute, but I know we're getting comments. One of my teachers just wrote, Carmen, Sister Carmen, much of what we call love is really not love. Like you say, Michelle, no, love never causes pain. I agree. Love never causes the feeling of bondage or dependency, but enables one to feel free and uplifted. That is the true
Yes.
love. I agree, Sister Carmen. Love is not supposed to make you feel sad or bondage, but feeling free and uplifted. Well said. So we have a question from Annabelle. How can a mother's love not include pain when her child, and that was one of my questions, is emotionally disturbed? In other words, that a mother's love doesn't also have pain if her child is, in this case, she writes emotionally disturbed, or, has some type of disability, because I have a stepchild who is disabled. So is that love, do I have to feel the pain too? Or is it, so if you could speak to that.
That's a nice question. We are taught to be human. So if someone is going through something, you have to be sad, you have to be upset, you have to share, right? We have to share the emotion. But the way we see it is quite different. The way we are taught is that if someone is going through something for whatever reason, if I am going through the same kind of emotions, I will not be able to help that or empower that person. I have to be at another level where I can share that unconditional love, where I could be strong from inside to give that support. So if I'm falling apart, how can I give the support to others? It's not inhuman to say that, but it's where you can offer more to that person. You can make them stronger. You can care for them more. You can have a lot more compassion. So we see it quite differently than, the way the world see it. But it doesn't mean that you don't care. You actually care more for the person and you want them to be strong.
I like that question and I like that answer. I have it on a familial level too, where we have, I have children, stepchildren that are going through their own pain, but we have to learn that we have to be there for them, not to judge, not to think anything less, but to be there and to be strong so they can watch us and learn the steps. Maybe they can help walk, as we say, walk in God's footsteps and walk in ours. It's emulating it, that by watching our strength, they too can take strength. Instead of commiserating and being unhappy with them, they see a strength that we have and they want to be like that. So I think that's a very important question that Annabelle asked, but I think that is a good response. I can speak to that on my own terms, that oftentimes when something, when I've had situations, and this is on a personal level, that seemingly others around me are in panic or even in an acute situation, I have been able to learn to take the higher road, be strong. And it's amazing how people will gravitate towards those answers, because I can give from a place of strength as opposed to a place of what I call entropy and just chaos that you're bringing to the situation, thought and knowledge, as opposed to, getting into the physical chaos of the situation. I don't know if that helps at all, Annabelle, but on a personal level, I've had that. Sherry asks, I like to ask Barbara for a do-over. That's I love that. I haven't heard that in a long time, a do-over, with certain people and places on things to test my ability to transform myself so I have a renewed feeling and a positive response. I love that. My question to Sherry, is that do-over a meditation do-over, or do you confront the person again? Or is it in your mind's eye, it's a do-over, what I call mind's eye, but in a spiritual sense, you do a do-over, or you actually confront that person and do it over. Is that a fair question, Sherry? I don't know if she can speak. Narayan, can they unmute? And Sherry unmute? And I believe Herman wanted to unmute. Not, oh, there she goes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This is so powerful. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This is wonderful. I feel like it's sort of a natural progression of situations where this happened to me even today. I had something. I didn't really go into this to confront anybody. It was just I was in a city today, and there just happened to be some people there that from many years ago, I had a different attitude and they had a different attitude. And it's like when I went there, I met new people, but it's like I had a different feeling instead of wanting to have a bad attitude about it or remember, oh, well, this happened, this happened, this happened. Well, so what? It does happen. But, I didn't get all tied up into the events. I just looked at them and I said, oh, I can respond instead of react. And instead of going down that kind of highway, yeah, it was just so beautiful. And I even saw, it's like God showed me why I had to take these steps all these years, why I had to actually lose all my business so that I could have a different view and a different response and also recreate myself and my situation and it had nothing to do with feeling sorry for myself anymore or compare and despair anymore. And I did feel like it was a do-over. I had a completely different experience. And even, when I was given lemons this morning from the dentist, I said, I'm going to make some lemonade. And this day was so productive and it felt so great. It really did. I normally wouldn't feel like this, but somehow Bob is showing me ways and means to really, really go inside and change myself, not worry about all those outside people and those outside drama scenes, but just work with, shifting my gears. And it was just wonderful.
Thank you, Sherry. Thank you.
Definitely a do-over.
I like that. I'm going to use that again. I forgot. I used to love do-over.
And sometimes I will use that even like in a situation, and I'll say to my husband or somebody,
I'm
"Hey,
going to
can we
use
do a
that.
do-over? Can we start over?"
I forgot about that. I'm going to use that. Do-over. Okay. Anyone want to raise their hand? Perhaps you can unmute. I know Herman asked this question, but he may want to. And because we're going to wind down, we have just a few more minutes while we're waiting for any questions. And thank you everyone for your input and your questions and your comments. It all helps to make a very well-rounded evening. We want to hear from everyone. And I had one other question, but I think we asked it already. How do you have pure love for someone who is a porcupine? And I've met porcupines in my life. I have them at work, in fact. I have two. And then someone said, well, you have less than 5, you're in good shape. I only have 2 porcupines. They literally, for whatever reason, they don't even know. They actually said, I don't know why they didn't say it like this. I look at them as quills. They throw quills at me, like sharp quills. And no matter what I do, how are you? And as I have to actually get strong when I meet them, I just gird myself and I go in and smile, and inevitably the porcupine quill is going to come at me. But how do you love people that are porcupines?
It's a good, we have a world of porcupines. It's not just 2 or 3. They're everywhere.
And then I started thinking, you're right. That's in my inner world. I have a for more.
Yeah. You can't avoid them. You can't avoid them. They're everywhere. There are lots of people who are heavy and depressed and confused and, kind of, behaving in a disorderly way. But it is an opportunity for us to become stronger. So let the quills keep coming, and then I'll become stronger. It's for me to look at myself and to become so strong that I'm not affected by that what is coming to me. And that's why in the situation that's happening in the world, we call it as test papers. One will receive their test papers in this lifetime, in this world. And so our aim is to pass. that, you know, regardless what's coming to me, that I have to maintain my cool, like our friend said just now, and to go beyond that. And also to notice that why people behave in a certain way, it's because they themselves are hurt inside. They're looking for something. There's a darkness, there's a void. That's all they can share. What they have inside, that's what is coming out. But if I don't have any expectation, and they will be who they have to be or who they are, but I can raise my, you know, awareness and just do what I am supposed to do. And also, if I know someone has certain attitude, okay, that's how they are in the moment, but let me just go on with life and do what I'm supposed to do. And I'm not saying that people don't get affected. We do sometimes, but quickly we can change that to restore back good feelings for ourselves and for others.
Very nice. Okay, so we're winding down. I'd love to have, you had mentioned about a meditation commentary, Sister Kamla, that kind of brings this together. Is there something we can do together, a meditation now that can?
Definitely. So we can all, let us experience the power of pure love. So we can all sit in a very comfortable position. Keep your feet flat on the floor.
Those I can see in front of me look very comfortable. Sister Carmen looks Karamish, Sherry, Vera, all look very comfortable. I could assume everyone else is comfortable too. So we're ready.
So take a few moments to just check in with yourself and to check what's in your heart. What is it that is becoming an obstacle in your heart to receiving that pure love? Love for yourself, love for others, and love for God. Am I holding on to something or someone because I feel insecure? Let me take a moment to let go of all the stuff that I've been holding on to that is creating sorrow and pain in my heart. Let me empty my mind and take a moment to accept the self unconditionally and to see myself in a different way as a new me, as a being that is filled with love and love and love. And this pure love that I'm experiencing is coming from the source. Open the heart to receiving selfless love, unconditional love, and spread that love to humanity, to every living being. Om Shanti.
Shanti, and love and love and love and love. Wouldn't that be nice if that's only 2 words in our language? And love and love. I'm going to try that tomorrow. Just go up to people and say, and love and love. Ask me, how are you? And love and love. I'm going to try that. That's another experiment. So do over and love. Okay. So thank you so much, Sister Kamla. Wasn't that delightful? That was really.
Yeah, thank you, Michelle. I always like being with you on this
Thank
program.
you. It's very light. I am the balloon, no longer the rock. Really.
Yes,
Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Oh, some of you feel the same way. So we're continuing with our month of love, and we have a little, I'm happy to say, with the next two sessions, the next two Thursdays, we're continuing on our Zoom format. For everyone, I know Sherry's out in Florida, and Sherry will see you on Zoom. And Ramesh, I know you're not going to be schlepping to necessary Global Harmony House, but we're also going to be live. So next week, we're going to be also live in Harmony House with Sister Kamla. So from Peace Village, it's Raksha Bandhan, and I know we all love that. That's a special evening for us where we tie a Rakhi and we show our centricity with the Supreme Soul and with each other. So it's living with limitless love. So hopefully we'll see some of you at Global Harmony House, right, Jane? Or if not, we'll see you on Zoom. And the week after, we're also having it live, but a little surprise, it's going to be in Manhattan. We're sharing it with Manhattan. So most of you are going to be watching it on Zoom, which is fine. I'm going to be in Manhattan, and we're going to follow up with what we did in Peace in the Park, which will be calling all peace ambassadors. So regardless whether you're there in person or on Zoom, I really think it'll be a very special evening. So both evenings coming up. Tonight was special, but it keeps on giving. So thank you. Thank you, Narayan, for doing the AV. He was great. And Sister Kamla, wonderful. And to the Supreme Soul, thank you for making it all happen. And thank you to you for joining us. Without you, we wouldn't have a Thursday evening conversation. So thank you all for joining us. And we'll see you next week. Have a wonderful, blessed week.
Thanks, everyone.
Om Shanti, great class, Sister Kamla.
Thank you. Thank you, Tamar. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Shanti.
And thank you for your great questions and comments, all of you. Thank you.